everyone, and welcome back to our second activity of today, math. Today we're going to be focusing on time. So we're going to go over some of our key vocabulary words we have been practicing with for time, and then we're going to practice counting by fives again to help us with elapsed time, more specifically when we talk about minutes. So let's first go over our vocab words. So you can say them with me or you can repeat back after me. So we have time, and then over here I have 3:30, and that's what we call digital time. When we see time like this, it's digital time. My next vocab word is analog, and this is an example of analog time. So previously we talked about different places in your house where you might see digital time, such as maybe on your TV box or on your stove or your microwave. And then maybe where you might see analog time for those of you that have any clocks around your house. So I know that in my kitchen I have an analog clock. And then on my stove and my microwave I see digital time. If you have a watch, your watch might be analog, or like the watch that I have here, it's digital. Then we have hour hand, which is the shorthand, so right here on the clock. And then we have minute hand, which is the long hand. So now we're going to practice counting by fives. I also labeled the clock here, if you can see it, with the minutes are in blue, and then the hour hands are in all different colors. I also kind of made a number line of counting by fives. So let's use our clock to help us count by five. So we start at 0. So we have 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then back at 0. So materials that we are going to need to complete our math worksheet today is we're going to need the worksheet that says time problems on it in your packet, and it has 6 questions on there. Some are, and 4 of them are multiple choice, and then you're also going to need a pencil and a correcting tool. So again, the materials are the time word problem sheet in your packet, and then a pencil and a correcting tool. If you need a little bit of time to gather everything, you guys know that you have to pause the video and then press play when you have everything in front of you. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read each of the problems with you, and you are going to circle the answer that you believe answers the question that's being asked. We're also going to be using our number line to help us answer our problems. Once we're done answering all our problems, we'll then go back over them and correct it. And this is also something that we're going to keep practicing on our classroom Zoom meetings. So let's first by starting off by putting our first and last name at the top of our paper. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read question number 1, okay? And I'm going to read the choices to you. We're also going to use our number line that I created from our minutes to help us answer the question. I know it's kind of tough because we don't have our time clocks in front of us, which is why I really want to practice more at our classroom Zoom meetings. So it's really important that everybody tries to get on those. So as I read the question, I'd like you to follow along as I read it. It says recess starts at noon and lasts for a half hour. What time does recess end? Circle the correct time. So recess starts at noon and it lasts for a half hour. We learned and practiced last week that a half hour is 30 minutes. So if we know that the hour is 12 and the half hour is 30, what time is that? If the hour is 12 and the minutes is 30, what time is that? 12, 12:15, 12:30, or 12:45? I want you to circle your answer. Okay, number 2. In science class, we watched ants for 15 minutes. We started at 2 o'clock. What time did we finish looking at ants? So, we know that the hour is 2 And now we need to find 15 minutes. So 15 minutes. 5, 10, 15. 15. So if the hour has 2 and the minute is 15, what time is that? 2:30, 2:15, 2 o'clock, or 2:45? I'd like you to circle your answer. Number 3. Today I will go to bed at 9:30. Tomorrow I have to go to bed 1 hour earlier. What time do I have to go to bed tomorrow? Okay. So if they have to go to bed today at 9:30, but tomorrow they have to go to bed 1 hour before. So 9:30 minus 1 hour. So you think about it as 9 minus 1 is 8. Okay? 8. So what time do they have to go to bed tomorrow? 7:30, 8:30, 10:30, or 9:30? So 1 hour before. So for example, so if it's 10:30, 1 hour before 10:30 is 9:30. If it's 9:30, 1 hour before is 8:30. If it's 8:30, 1 hour before is 7:30. Number 4, Dad said we could swim for a half hour. We got to the pool at 3 o'clock. What time do we need to get out of the pool? So if they got to the pool at 3 o'clock and they're swimming for a half hour, and a half hour in minutes is 30 minutes. So if the hour is 3 and the minute is 30, if the hour is 3 and the minute is 30, what time is it? 3:30, 3, 3:15, or 3:45? You're going to circle your answer. Now number 5, it says add 15 minutes to the time on the clock. Draw the arms on the second clock to show the new time. So the time here, if it's between the hour hand, which is the short hand, is between the 2 and the 3. It's not quite on the 3, so the hour is 2. And when we look here, the 6 in minutes is 30, so it's 2:30. And they want us to add 15 minutes. So it would be, if we're going to add 15 minutes from the 30, it's 5, 10, 15, which is 45. So below here, we're going to write 2:45. So together, we're going to draw a small hand on the 2. Small hand on the 2, and the big hand on the 9. Representing 2:45. So the small hand is between the 2 and the 3, and the minute hand, which is the long hand, is on the 9. Then number 6, it says add 30 minutes to the time on the clock. Draw arms on the second clock to show the new time. So the time here, the hour hand is on the 5, which is the short hand, and the long hand is on the 3, which is the minute hand, and 3 in minutes represents 15. So the time here, let's write below, is 5:15. 5:15. We have to add 30 minutes to 5:15. So we're going to count by 5s till we get to 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 9 represents 45. So the new time that we're going to write below is 5:45. 5:45. So when we draw 5:45, we're going to do a small hand between the 5 and the 6, and a big hand, which is the long hand, the minute hand, on the 9, representing 5:45. Now we're going to go over and correct our 4 problems up top. So you can get out your correcting tool. Remember, if you got the problem right, you'd give yourself a check. And if you got it wrong, you're going to correct your mistakes. I know this is tough for a lot of you. We've been practicing a lot, and we're going to go over this in our Zoom meeting as well. So number 1, it says recess starts at noon and lasts for a half hour. What time does recess end? So the correct answer is recess is going to end at 12:30. Okay, we know that if recess starts at noon, it's 12 o'clock. If we're adding 30 minutes to 12 o'clock, it's going to give us 12:30. Number 2, in science class, we watch ants for 15 minutes. We started at 2. What time did we finish looking at ants? So if the class started at 2 and we're going to add 15 minutes, it's going to bring us to 2:15. 2:15. Number 3, today I will go to bed at 9:30. Tomorrow I have to go to bed 1 hour earlier. What time do I have to go to bed tomorrow? And the correct answer will be 8:30. So they're going to bed at 9:30 today. So if we minus an hour, it's 8:30. And if we minus another hour from 8:30, it's 7:30. And then if we minus another hour from 7:30, it's 6:30. So it's decreasing, okay? So if they're going to bed at 9:30, 1 hour before 9:30 is 8:30. And then number 4, Dad said we could swim for a half hour. We got in the pool at 3. What time do we need to get out of the pool? And the correct answer is 3:30. So as we've been learning, a half hour represents 30 minutes. It's because it's half of the clock. A clock is 60 minutes. So half of 60 is 30. So the correct answer, if they were in the pool at 3 and they got to swim for 30 minutes, it would be 3:30 would be the time that they had to get out. You can have an adult or an older sibling or a parent take a picture and send me your work. Again, this is something that we are going to be practicing a lot on and getting extra practice at our Zoom class meetings. So before I send you off to life skills, let's first just review these key terms again and practice again counting by 5s. So we have time, and this time represented here is digital time. And then we have analog, which this here is an analog clock and analog time. Our hour hand, which is our shorthand, and then our minute hand, which is our longhand. And then we will practice counting by 5 starting at 0. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Okay? There's also going to be an additional math link to help you with time as well that you can go and use for extra practice. And then after math, it will be ready for our last activity on Thursday, which is life skills. So I will see you all back in life skills.